diversity of India and especially the eastern regional part of India. We have 6 different states in this part: Odisha, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Andaman and Nicobar. So these 6 states are very rich in terms of geological specimens and botanical specimens. This museum showcases the biodiversity, what are the animals and plants found in these special areas. We have 6 prominent galleries in which we have displayed few specimens in liquid preservation and few specimens in dried specimens forms like taxidermy and all that. We shall begin with the temporary exhibition area where we have selected few specimens across the world and from this area. So we shall take this route to visit the museum.
So you can see these places they have covered. This is Odisha, yellow color. This is our neighboring state in the west, Chhattisgarh. 2 states in the north. One is Bengal, one is Jharkhand. It is a big state. Bihar now they have divided Jharkhand and Bihar. So Jharkhand, Bengal, Chhattisgarh, and in the south, Andhra Pradesh. So we have a coastline. Andhra Pradesh have a coastline. Bengal have a coastline. And these 2 states they have no coastline. So Odisha is full of, as our sir was telling, it's full of biodiversity. So we have lot of things related to our ocean, to our river, to our forest, to our mountain. So these things you can see here. Also places of this. So we have about 5 to 6 galleries here. So we can see one after one. Maybe half an hour time we can take here. You can take enough time as you like.
साढ़े तीन सेट आउट हाँ 3:30 4 बजे के आसपास बोल दीजिए 4
sorry.
ये देखिए तो उसको बोल दो
Look at the year. How do you preserve it when it's still in that form?
They have made it a clay formation. Then they put the skin. Only skin.
Tak, dia buat acuan, lepas tu dia letak kulit dia. So kulit dia ada dalam, dia tak ada isi.
If you all have time, I have a few interesting facts to Okay, everyone, can I have a 1 minute of yours? I have something very interesting to tell you. Can everyone tell me what is this?
Elephant's skull.
Elephant's head and cut into two parts. It is the longitudinal section. In biology, it is called the longitudinal section of the head skull. If you everyone come on this side, please let me show you something very interesting. Here, please come this side, so that you can see this part. So when we see the cross section of the skull of the elephant, we see the bones are spongy. Because of this spongy structure, this bone becomes lightweight. Elephant always stands like this. So all the force comes on the neck. If the head is way too heavy, if it is solid, it will become at least 8 to 10 times more heavier than the right one, this one. And in that situation, it would be very difficult for the elephant to stand in that position. And also then there is added weight of the trunk also. And also the tusks that come from outside from here. One tusk, the left one comes out from here, and then the right one goes from there. And now this is the cranial cavity of the elephant. So the brain of the elephant rests here. And you see, they always used to fight like this. So that this spongy structure also works as a cushion for their brains. So whenever they are fighting, they are hammering their heads into each other. This spongy structure also provides some safety to the brain. Then you see the dental part is not available right here, but if you see the tooth of the elephant, they are always fused together and they take a shape of one long tooth. What elephant does, it sometimes rubs the upper tooth with the lower one and it creates some humming sound. That humming sound is resonated. It escalates, the frequency lowers, but the potential of that sound escalates. And because of this spongy bone, that humming sound travels up to 50 kilometers, 30 to 50 kilometers, and we cannot hear it. But since elephants, they have very huge ears, they simply flaps it up and then they can receive that sound. And that is the one secret method of communication between the elephants. So you must have seen the documentaries, like there is sometime one elephant left in the wild and the herd is somewhere else. But he is always able to find the way back to the herd. That is because of that low frequency sound.
Is it below 10 hertz? Sorry, usually below 10 hertz?
It
The
is-
frequency call. Because humans can't hear
It
below
is
10.
subsonic frequency. It is subsonic frequency, but depends on the age of the elephant. So that the variation of the frequency is quite high, but still we cannot hear it. And also every elephant has his own pattern of the grinding. So every elephant has his own voice like we have. When I speak, the frequency of and the modulation of my sound is different. Yours shall be different and yours shall be different. Similarly, the grinding pattern of every elephant is different. So they identify each other elephant with the grinding pattern of those elephants. Then there is one very interesting specimen here. This is the striped hyena. This is a local and Indian striped hyena. In India, we find the hyena which has those stripes. But in Africa and in other countries, we have that spotted hyena. So that is the differentiation mark. And this is the only mammal which is born with its teeth. Other than hyena, there is no other animal, and the mammal especially, which is born with its teeth. So that is the interesting factor with the hyena. So we shall now move forward. We have one collective message also to share with you all. You see all these birds, they are mostly the birds which are found throughout the year here in this eastern part of India. Since this gathering is for the orientation of visitors and also we make our visitors understand why it is important for all of us to understand that we need to improve our way of living. And that is we call mission life. And Indian government has started a mission to rephrase the ideology of living pattern in India. And in that support, we have made few models. They are 100% biodegradable models. In most of the museums, whenever we are making any models, we are using resin and fiber plastic for making all those models. And sometimes we are using real skin also. But whenever we are making models, we are forced to use plastic only because there are no alternatives available. In this museum, we have tried to develop one alternative to make models which are more realistic and only using material which is available within the institution, sometimes discarded or waste. So these are the representation models only made by the biodegradable material. If we leave them outside of this museum for 6 months to 1 year, they will become the part of the nature. So that is an ideological initiative from this museum. And we have also made few other life-size models like gorilla and Komodo dragon. And these models are also touch and feel models. We use them whenever we are conducting any program with the children so that they can touch it and feel and they can understand the shape, size and the morphology of the birds. Thank you so much. Please come forward. Please come. Okay, so let me interpret a message from the nature that challenges our intelligence. We say that human is the most intelligent creature in the nature. It is a perception that is believed by us. And by just one example, nature has challenged. I think you all know about the Asian giant hornet. It is found in my country and it is also found in your country. And they have a huge spread across this continent. What they do, they make a colony. It's a social animal and they have a division of labor pattern in their lifestyle. So the worker hornets, they are given a task to go to a dry tree or trunk. They need to find out some leaves or something. They chew it, they mix it with saliva, and then they use that mixture for making these chambers. This entire structure is made by the hornets, which are of this size. You can see few specimens are here on this nest. You can see they are almost 1.5 inch to 2 inches, not very huge, but they make such a big structure. Now see how architecturally excellent this design is. It is something like you hold the Burj Khalifa tower from the top and you pick it up like this. Can it be held like that? No. And that's a man-made structure. And it's a nature-made structure by the hornets. And they have so little brain, even I cannot squeeze within my fingers. They have such a little brain, but they have made this structure. Now you can see the pillars. You can see like there are different floors, and with the help of those pillars, they have made these layers. And within every layer, they make hexagonal cubes. A different segment for the larva, different segment for the workers, and different segment for drones. So there are categorization in this building, and this is a massive building. Then somewhere here lies the hornet's queen. Now she is the queen and given the maximum royalty treatment. So that area has to be cool for the purpose of maximum reproduction, because as much as hornets, as much as of their survival. Like now we are exceeding our number on this planet. So hornets are always in competition with other species. So the queen has to be given the privilege of the food and the temperature, because right temperature is very much important for the production system. Then what hornets do? They make air ducts in this entire structure. Few hornets sits on the holes that are on the upper side. Few other worker hornets, they go to some water body from the water source, they take a droplet of water, they come back here and then they sprinkle it inside. Then the hornets which are sitting on the upper holes, they flap their wings and they push down some air inside those chambers. Now that hot air comes in the contact of that little water, it cools down and slowly it settles from up to down. And the maximum cold air comes out of a large hole which is on the bottom. And this is the area where temperature is 6 to 8 degree lower than the outside. When the outside temperature is 34 or 37 degrees centigrade, inside where that hornet queen is, temperature is 9, sometimes 12 degree lower. So now we can challenge our own intelligence in terms of being the self-proclaimed most intelligent creature on this planet. So now we shall go to the biodiversity gallery. Right.